Well, hey, Chris, how are you tonight? No problem. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Blaine. I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining us here at the show tonight. I am super excited, and I know Christopher is too. Tonight we have an amazing special guest who is also a very, very, very dear friend of mine. Hey, Jeremy. Um, we have Heidi Kemper with us this evening. She is a psychic medium and an incredible human being. She travels all over and does paranormal conferences and just has the biggest heart, and I'm so excited to introduce her to everybody. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really
Good.
well. I got a little bit of rest today, so I'm all geared up and ready to go.
Perfect. It was a good day for some rest.
Yeah, yeah. We had a fun weekend being able to listen to you perform. So,
Thank you. Yeah, that was super fun.
yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and bring Heidi on up. Welcome, Heidi.
Hi guys. How
Hello.
are you? Hi,
Hi.
Christopher. Nice to meet you.
Hello.
I don't think we've
You
met
as
yet, have we?
well.
Have we
I
met? I
don't
don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, but it's a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Hi, Raven. Hugs, honey. Hugs, hugs,
Hi,
hugs,
Hugs.
hugs.
I miss you so
I
much.
miss you too. I miss you too.
How's
Well, we'll see
everything
each other
going?
soon. We'll see each other soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
How's everything going for you?
Good, good. Things are overall really good. As you know, and my some people tuning in that know me, the last few years have been pretty busy. I've been um, going through some wonderful new beginnings and some endings. A marriage of 25 years, went through some ups and downs. Changes in my career. I'm a registered nurse by trade for 25 years, worked full time as a registered nurse, and now I'm just working contingent. So, um, not a lot. And I'm really working full time as a psychic medium. So I've had my
That's great.
practice in Southeast Michigan for the last 3 years, each year getting busier and busier. But the last few years, traveled a ton around the country when I got brought into the paranormal. And it's been a lot of fun and just keeping busy and um, doing as much as I can because it's satisfying work and I love it. So
That's
Cool.
incredible. Well, Chris, do you want to start us off with a question or two?
Yeah, sure. So you're a psychic medium, and I'm always curious about other mediums. Was this something that you've always known that you were able to do, or was this kind of like a rude awakening for you?
so looking back on my life, I've always had the gift, but I definitely was not completely aware until around 2012, 2013.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I went into a year-long spiritual class. I had a friend um, who is a nurse, and we worked together at the hospital. And we used to talk about spiritual things. And I used to tell him how I would have these prophetic dreams and how I knew how to read some tarot, and I was into all that. And I just thought it was fascinating. So he knew that I was interested. And one day he came to lunch and had this flyer and slid it in front of me, and it's talking about this woman in Michigan, a local psychic medium. She calls herself a shamanic medium, Lori Lipton. And she had this year-long course called the Intuitive Practitioner Certification. And basically, we learned over a year's time all about shamanic practices. Shamanism's been around since indigenous times, since we lived in tribes, so it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And um, that's where I discovered I was a medium. So we were doing a class on mediumship, and we were sitting in a circle. And up until that point, I had been to like a couple mediums, and I thought it was fascinating, and I thought it was a beautiful gift. I would watch Teresa Caputo and John Edwards and all
Oh
of them,
yeah.
Lisa Williams, all the big ones, watch them on TV and cry and think, oh my gosh, what a beautiful gift. And um, most especially because I lost my brother he was 19 and I was 20 in a car accident. And so when he passed away, for me, that was a big awakening time for me, learning all about the afterlife and spirituality and really opened up a whole new, interest in anything paranormal, anything spiritual. And
Mhm.
so I had an interest there, and we're sitting in this circle doing this exercise, and all of a sudden I'm connecting a girl in our group with her sister who passed away of leukemia. I took her to University of Michigan Hospital. She's telling me we're on the 4th floor. She made it to the top of the children's hospital because she was so sick. And I mean, I was going into detail, and she's just sitting there crying and just like with her mouth, like, and everybody in the circle, I'm looking around and everybody's like, and I'm like, they didn't do that with anybody else that's said anything so far. What's going on? So
Mhm.
that's kind of when I discovered, oh, there's something there. And so looking back, yes, it's something I always had, and it explains why as a child I was afraid of the dark. I would be interrupted in my sleep a lot. I'd be woken up by spirit. And but looking back, like I just thought, you know, I was told it was not real. It's invisible. No one's there. No one's trying to talk to you. There's not a
Right.
witch in your closet. No, it's just a dream, right? So I'm told as a kid, get back to bed, but I was
Right.
scared shitless. I mean, I couldn't even, sorry if I'm not supposed to swear. I
Oh,
couldn't
you're
even
good. I
go.
do it all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. I couldn't go to the bathroom. We had a colonial, 3-bedroom colonial, and it was a rather nice sized home, but for some reason it didn't have a bathroom on the first floor, not even a half bath. So to go to the bathroom, you had to go all the way upstairs. Well,
Mhm.
the family would be watching TV, eating popcorn, whatever, and I would just put off having to go to the bathroom because I didn't want to have to go up by myself. When I finally gave in and went, I would sing the entire way up the stairs while I was in the bathroom and sing all the way down because I could sense spirit. There was something. I was told I was making it up. It's not real. And I would tell my mom, I'm going to sing when I go up to the bathroom. So if I stop singing, come look for me because it means something's wrong. I mean,
Right.
but I was told I was imagining it. It wasn't real. You're afraid of the dark, whatever. I wasn't allowed to watch scary movies because when I was 5, I snuck during a babysitter was babysitting us, and her and her boyfriend kept talking about how they were going to watch The Exorcist, and I was like, "What's that?" Well, little me decided to sneak down the stairs and go and watch from the kitchen where I could see the TV in the family room, and I
Mhm.
was so scared that I like stopped in the place because I was too scared to go back to bed because it was dark. And I'd rather just be scared here because my babysitter's right there. And she found me and was like, "Oh my God, you've been watching it." And my parents were like, "Ah." So, yeah, I had nightmares for years after that. So, um, for me, like, I wasn't allowed to talk about anything scary. I wasn't allowed to watch anything scary because it affected me so deeply. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, looking back, it's a gift I've always had, short version. Um, and basically, like, looking back, it's always been there, but I didn't really know what it was.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very it's interesting how like you see those things that's kind of spook you and scare you like the Exorcist movie. But do you have an interest or a like in horror movies now, or are you still kind of like nope, I'm good?
No, so I actually was introduced to the paranormal world. It'll be 3 years this Memorial Day weekend. I was invited to be a guest on the TV show The Ghost Finders, season 12. And so I was on the second episode, and then I ended up finishing out the season, was on episode 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. I think we went to 5, yeah. And it was an awesome experience. I had always, when I first got into mediumship and my spirituality, it was all about love and light and pink and flowers and all of that. And I was still quite afraid of the paranormal. And my friend Ed knew, and he's like, I'm going to give you a show to start watching, so, to
Mhm.
kind of desensitize yourself. It's a little bit milder. And so I started watching Dead Files with Amy Allen and Steve Chavi. Do you guys love that show or
I
what? I
do.
love it. It's one of my
I remember that
favorites.
one. Yeah.
And you don't know that one?
No, I do remember that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's one of my favorites. So, I started watching that, and then I got to the point where I almost like desensitized myself, and I was able to start watching it. And then I started watching Ghost Adventures, Zach Baggins and that whole crew, and got into all of the discovery paranormal, and I couldn't get enough of it. And I was obsessed with paranormal. And then one day my friend Ed calls me and texts me on my phone. I'm a nurse manager at the hospital, and this is 3 years ago. And he's like, hey, you ever think you want to be a guest psychic on a TV show? And I'm like, yeah, I would love it. But, whatever, sorry, got to get back to work. I'm just like, what a weird thing to text me, right? Well, later that night, he calls me and he was like, well, I was asking because I met this guy at this paranormal, it was like paw for animals, a fundraiser for potographs.
Okay.
And he met Rob Thompson there. And he's like, he's looking for somebody for his TV show. And I wanted to introduce it, you to him. And so long story short, that's kind of where it started. And it was real. He really wanted me to like be the guest psychic medium on a TV show. I'm like, of course I would. Like, yeah, my dream. I would watch Patty Negri with Ghost Adventures. I would watch people like Sam Beltrusis and Lizzie Borden and all the discovery things that he did, and Chris Fleming, all of them. So I was just like, this is like a dream come true. Well, then fast forward, and then I'm filming with Patty Negri on an episode of The Ghost Finders, and it was like, this is crazy. Like, this is my dream come true, right? So for me, going into the paranormal truly opened up my mediumship and took it to a different level. In that, I completely understand now that not everything is all light and not everything is all dark. Everything has a little bit of both. Everything has a positive and a negative, a light and a dark. And when we can know that, I mean, it just opens your mind, and it took my mediumship to a totally different level. And actually helped me learn boundaries, not just in the spiritual world, but also in my personal life. And so, like a life-changing experience for me. So paranormal is, I love the paranormal, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. I was told that it was a choice, that's something that I could choose or not choose, that I was going to be challenged. And I was warned a little bit before it happened. So I love Ed and Lorraine Warren. I didn't know them, but I know of them. I know of their work, and that they're the paranormal godparents. And, they were, trailblazers, and we wouldn't have the paranormal, I don't think, without them. And they were, they were the first of their kind. I was at a paranormal conference in mid-Michigan in October of 2023. And I was talking to a friend of mine who ended up telling me that he actually worked with Ed and Lorraine Warren at one point. And I was like, oh my gosh, tell me all about it, And next thing you know, Lorraine Warren comes to me in spirit and presents herself to me and starts talking to me. And is basically telling me, like, you've been handpicked to go into the paranormal. This is something you can choose, but you need to go in it and respect it. It's to be respected. It's real. There are certain things to be afraid of, and that protection is important. And so she came, and then I was at a paranormal conference last year in Connecticut. Actually, Raven, you were there. And there was a patron there that was a little bit odd, and when he came up and started talking to me, I knew right away he had some kind of attachment, and so I was calling in, Archangel Michael and putting up my protection, grabbing my crystals. And again, Lorraine, she shows up right next to him, and she's talking about him, and is basically explaining to me, as he's talking to me, she's talking to me. And he's saying all these things to me, and she's like, yeah, he's a nice guy. I worked with him in the paranormal, but he works with a lot of dark stuff. There's people like him you got to be careful of, put up your protection, da-da-da-da-da. And as she's saying this to me, he then starts to say, yeah, so I did some investigations with Lorraine Warren, and she told me that I was the kind of person, I mean, he literally said right after she told me that, everything, he told me everything that she had just told me. I was mind blown.
Right.
And so for me, I know that, that this was a choice, and that there were some things that happened to me that were very upsetting at the time. I got taken over by a elemental. We were at an investigation, at Wilson Castle. I was with Sam Baltrusis, and we were doing an event. And during the investigation, I started to connect with the woman of the house, Sarah. Have either one of you ever been to Wilson Castle?
I have.
I'm going for the first time with Chris. We're doing an event there.
Oh, that's awesome. When are you guys going?
2 different dates. One
Oh, are you doing it with Monique? That's right. That's right. I saw that.
Oh,
right?
actually, no, I'm
No?
doing it with Christopher. The one with Monique got a little bit rearranged, and
Oh, okay.
so Christopher and I figured we would do 2 different dates. One is in June, June, what is it, Chris?
26, I believe.
Yeah,
Okay.
June 26th, and then September 4th. And we got to work on some advertising stuff, but that is going to be an amazing experience.
Oh, I absolutely love Wilson Castle. So
Same
I've been
here.
twice.
Yeah.
I've been twice. When I went the first time, it was October. I was with Monique too soon, and we did an event there, an investigation, and oh my god, it's so much fun. And Sam Baltrusis was there, and that's when Sam and I really like connected and had like our friendship really took off and like was like a lifelong, forever friendship. We ended up crossing over a spirit at Wilson Castle. And we had never worked together before like that and didn't even talk about it. And like, we'd done it in other lifetimes apparently together because, you know, I had done it prior to that. But I had not, done it with him. So I didn't, you know, every shamanic practitioner does that differently. Did you see how my light just changed on its own?
I did see
saw
that. Yeah.
That was weird. Okay, who's here? Somebody's here. Oh, we're talking about
Right.
Wilson Castle, so
Yeah, right.
traveling here. All right, so calling out my protections and my guides and my angels and Archangel Michael. Okay, so in any event, this elemental. The second time I went with Sam again. It was an event with me and Monique and Sam, and it was an investigation. And this time. There was an elemental tree in the backyard. I got pulled into the backyard, connected with the elemental tree, and they downloaded and told me that that there's a connection, like a portal between like Hinsdale House, Conjuring House, and Wilson Castle. They specifically named those locations. Well, I have been everywhere except for Conjuring. I haven't been there yet.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that makes sense that between haunted locations, there's going to be portals. You know, it makes sense, right? Like ley lines. I mean, I've always really, I believe in that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's something scientific there, I'm sure. And when we went into the investigation, we were on the 3rd floor, and one of the patrons was like, there was something in the bathroom, come with me. And so I went in there and I saw a fairy flying. Well, I don't usually see things with my naked eye. As a clairvoyant, I usually see it in my mind's eye. And in the bathroom, I saw what it looks like to me when I see fairies is it almost looks like, you know, those cat, where it lights up and you take the thing and you point it and the cat chases it, those laser things.
Oh yeah,
It
yeah.
almost looks like that. It almost looks like that, and it's like flying around the room. So it's like a neon green is how I saw it that night. Neon green, like little tiny dot, like flying around the room, like Tinkerbell or whatever. And I was like, oh, it's a fairy. It must have followed me in from the tree. So then Monique, who knows everything of this happening at Wilson Castle, because she has a lot of events there, was like, yeah, there is an elemental that has been here that people have been reporting. So I wonder if that's the elemental. Well, then fast forward about a half hour later, we were on the 2nd floor. We were investigating Sarah's room, and I started to connect with the woman of the house, Sarah. So she was the woman that owned the house. And you guys, Raven, you said you have been there, or you haven't yet? You're excited to go.
I'm excited to go. This is my first time.
First
I've been
time.
hearing incredible things about Wilson Castle, so I'm
It's
really looking forward
amazing.
to
The
it.
history is fabulous. So you'll hear the story of Sarah, the woman that lived there. Well, there was like a new like finding since the last time I was there. So I was there June of 24, and then October of 25. No, June of 25. October of 24, June of 25. And in June of 25 is when the elemental thing jumped. Well, some new information came out about Sarah and her husband, and it like hit me in the gut because I had been going through a similar thing at the time. I was going through my divorce and feeling really, there goes that light again. Did you guys see it do it by itself?
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm cracking up because of course they're gonna do this. They're obviously
Right.
present. I'm getting this right now. I don't know if it's Sarah here with us. Okay, just grabbing my left foot. Yeah. Yeah, so we're talking about her. It's Sarah. Okay, so I was connecting with her. She's here with us, guys. Just so
Right.
you know.
Nice.
She translocated. Can't make these things up. You guys saw it live. Lights flashing, changing. The energy's here.
Yes.
So anyway, I was connecting with her at the pool table, and Sam's like, "Let's do our seance." So Sam does the seance. He calls it a seance. It's his take on the seance. And so we start doing the seance, and I'm connecting with Sarah. So I'm like, "Sarah, you can speak through me. Like, I am not comfortable with trans mediumship. For me, it's a hard no."
Yeah.
But I got taken over by this elemental instead. So I'm connecting with Sarah. I'm talking with Sarah. I'm like her. And then all of a sudden something moves into my belly, right above my belly button, to the right. And I could feel it going in. I can still point to exactly where it went in. And it felt like something went in, and my whole mid body moved in an unnatural way, and my body swayed, and I could feel myself moving in a way that I knew was not, it was not me moving my body.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, I slightly recall like hitting the table with my hand. And I was yelling, and I don't know what I was yelling, but I was yelling, and I seemed angry. And like 5 minutes later, my friends got his arms behind me, pulling me back, pulling me from the table. And I'm like fighting him. And I'm like, what is going on?
Right.
I guess I didn't know this at the time, found out later. I was out for about an hour and a half.
Holy cow.
This elemental took me over and had witnessed a murder on the property, and was trying to tell its story through me, but it had never been human. So it didn't know how. It knew I was a medium. It knew that I knew how to do that, but it tried to take me over and speak through me, but it didn't know how to move my body or do any of that, which is why I had the weird movements and the things I was saying. I was angry, and then I was saying things that was not. I was at first like Sarah. I was connecting with Sarah, but then this thing took over. It was very disturbing because then I was taken to another room, and I had an attachment, and they removed that. And then I went outside, and Sam, did the final removal. But I mean, I was out of it. Even though I was back, I still felt really out of it. Like at any moment it could take over again. And the only way I can describe it is, I don't know if that's ever happened to either one of you. And if it has, then tell me if you've had a similar experience. It feels as if I was like at the back of myself, and then it was like in front of me, like in front of my face
Oh,
was
wow.
in, all the front part of me was the entity, the elemental. And then I was like pushed to the back. So I was still in my body, but like I was pushed to the back. So like, I don't recall anything that happened. It's like, it was like halfway there, halfway not. It was almost like a dream state, and like coming to and fro. My friend said I had unusual strength. I was hitting the table really hard. I got violent. Nothing like me, like who I am. I still don't know all that happened. And evidently there's a video of it somewhere, because they have video cameras in the house.
Yeah.
Monique had set them up for the night. And so sometimes I'm like, I would like to see it, but I don't think I want to see myself that way.
Yeah.
And so long story short, when that happened, it scared the shit out of me. The elemental ended up jumping 2 more people.
Holy
and
shit.
we figured out later in the night why I was doing that. And it was because there's this murder that somehow is attached to the land, and this elemental was there, and witnessed it and was trying to tell the story.
Wow.
And the little girl spirit that was affected by it kept taking us through her death. And it was almost like a repetitive thing. Later on in the night, we ended up doing like calling in this little girl, and she came in and she was playing with like toys and moving things, and she was also talking through the spirit box, but also speaking to myself, Sam, and Monique, all mediums, and also Lexi was there too, and telling us different parts of what happened, and that there was a murder of a little girl, and the mother and the little girl both, and this, and then she was showing where she was buried, and all of this stuff. And during all of that, that's when it jumped to other people. So it was trying
Oh,
to come through to tell us what happened.
yeah.
Instead, the little spirit of the little girl came forward and told us. And when I had been there the prior time, we had connected a little bit with her then too. But I guess
Hmm.
Monique and Lexi, who do a lot of things at Wilson Castle, have a relationship with this little girl that and her mom who were murdered right near the property. So you might hear more about it when you're there. So I'll be interested to hear any updates.
Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in that as well.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to experiencing the property and being able to connect with the ghosts and of course protect myself too, but just to be able to have that my own experiences there because I've heard such incredible things about Wilson Castle.
Yeah. It's beautiful. If you can go ever in October, oh my gosh, look at it just changed again. Did you guys see that?
I do see that.
Yeah.
What is
I am literally like cracking up. Like this stuff
that?
never happens to me, like the electronic thing. So I am like, they're totally here. That's so
That's
funny.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. You know who I'm also picking up on, Raven, is David Taylor.
We've been
He's
thinking about him a lot over
he's
here lately.
he's here. He's here right now. He was talking to me earlier, um, and because I was laughing because I don't know if you guys. I told Raven. I'm not sure if you knew, Chris. I had another podcast I was on before this, which is crazy because I love being on podcasts, but for them both to come on the same day, I was like, that's so weird that I had, requests both on the same day. And it's so cool how the timing worked out because the first one we started, it was, it's the Witching Hours over on the Spirit Realm Network. So,
Yep.
Jenny Lee and Frosty over there.
Hmm.
And so the Witching Hours. And so I was on that, and it was my second time I was on about a year ago. Love those guys. We have so much fun
Yeah.
together. And, so that ended it. They let me go first, and because they usually do this like opening, so I went first. They did the opening after I left, and then I had like a half hour, and then Raven had asked, can you come? I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I'm like trying to move things around,
Mhm.
and I'm laughing because David knew both of you guys, and I was like, I know darn well he had something to do with this. He got in Raven's head and was like, you should have Heidi on as a guest. And then Frosty and Jenny was like, you should have Heidi on as a guest. Like, that's so David.
Hmm.
So
Definitely.
I'm feeling him for sure. He's his spirit. When he first passed, like that whole year, every paranormal investigation I went to, I was with Sam, and he would come every time. And then he was quiet for a while, and now he's starting to come back again. I could just feel a lot of healing has been done for him. A lot of healing since he's gone into the other side. He's done a lot of healing work. He feels good. His energy feels good.
I felt him when I was in the hospital. I felt him with me the entire time I was there, and both Matthew and I had him come through in a session that we were doing that we were not expecting him to come through.
Yeah,
Um, but that was pretty cool. Yeah, I miss him.
I know. I miss him too. Just a
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful soul. That person that brings everybody together. Never wanted anybody to feel left out. Always wanted people to feel included and accepted, and didn't always have that in life, which is why he felt like he wanted to be able to give that to other people. So I'll always be grateful to him for um, the impact he had on me. We were friends just like a little over a year. I had just gotten to know him, and it felt like we had been friends forever. So wonderful soul. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. it's just amazing at like how much we like can still feel him and see him with us in our times of need, and sometimes even when we don't expect it. It definitely goes to show that like he definitely followed through on the, I'll always be with you feeling that he gave us.
Yep. Yep. I have the coolest little gifts. Candy and with Spirit Squad, Candy, she does a lot at Wilson Castle.
Hmm.
Trying to think of the last name. Her and her husband, they do Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Oh my
Oh,
God.
Derek and
Candace.
Candace, yeah.
Derek and Candace.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Derek and Candace. So the light changed again when I talked about them. This is totally Wilson Castle related because they're
Hmm.
connected with Wilson Castle. So anyway, what was the story I was going to tell you? Oh, they made me the most special gift. So they have one of those machines that can make, it's like a cricket, but it's like they can make things with it. So one of the things they make is night lights.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you have a special picture of someone or something? Well, I didn't know that they were going to do something with the picture. So this is before I went to Wilson Castle the last time. And when I went, they presented me with the gift, and it's a night light. And when you plug it in the wall, it lights up, and it's a picture of me and David, and we're hugging, and we're at the Mass Paracon. And, he was so tall. So he's like hovering over me, and we're like hugging, and he's got a t-shirt on. And in the t-shirt, it says, I've got your back. I've always got your back. I've always got your back. And it's like, how apropos that he had that t-shirt on in that picture. And then I've got this nightlight that, I can just turn on and, he's right there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's super sweet of those guys to do that.
Yeah.
Christopher, did you
I
ever
love them.
meet David?
No, I have heard very good things about him, but unfortunately, I was not able to meet him.
You would have loved him. You really would have. He's
Yeah.
great.
I don't know anybody that didn't like David. He was one of a kind for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So speaking of people that guides and those kinds of things, when it comes to people that you have learned a lot from as far as, mediumship and growth, who are some of the people that have really impacted you in your spiritual growth in regards to how you've developed things for yourself?
Yeah. I talked earlier about Lori Lipton, psychic or shamanic medium here in Michigan. She is like my teacher, my mentor, and also my friend. I'm lucky to be able to call her all three. And she very influential in my awakening, and stepping into my gifts. My friend Ed, who I spoke about earlier, the one that introduced me to that, he and I, my brother from another mother, I call him. Have you met Ed, Raven? I'm trying to think if you've met him at any of the
I'm
different things
not
I've been at, because I bring him with me to some things.
I'm not sure, honestly.
Yeah.
I'd have to see a
No, you'd
picture of
remember
him.
if you'd met him, you wouldn't forget him. You'd be like, "Yeah, I know Ed." Yeah, because there's no way you won't forget him. You won't forget him when you meet him. So he's my other one. He's been a huge integral part in helping me step into my mediumship, telling me you've got to put this out there, you've got to expand it, you've got a special gift, you've got to go with it. So he was integral, and he introduced me to Rob Thompson, and Rob Thompson is also somebody that very influential, helped me get into the paranormal, and gave me the opportunity with the Ghost Finders. Him and his partner Heather Borderline, both of them, we've done a lot of great work together with the Ghost Finders. We did some stuff with my podcast Scorpio Rising on the Spirit Channel, and you know definitely Rob helped me really step into that too. And Sam Beltrusis. Sam and I really became amazing friends. Also a brother from another mother, other lifetimes together, and very special for me. And then my friend Val is also somebody who is very influential. I'm so lucky to have such a great circle of spiritual people around me. And if I looked at my circle back in 2012, before I really started to learn more about it and start stepping into my gifts, I didn't have as many spiritual friends, and now it's pretty much all I have. And you know, when you change, when you go through transformation, you lose some friends along the way, but you gain a lot too. So I'm really happy um, that I found spirituality and that I can share my gifts with the world. Like, to me, that is the greatest fulfillment. You know, of course, my children and my relationships and, love, like, those are all super important too. But to have not only a career in the paranormal and in the spiritual world, but also to, get paid for something you do and be able to like make it a part of how you show up in the world, like in your job, that's like a bonus. Not a lot of people are able to do that. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity.
That's awesome.
That's,
And what are some books that I mean, are there any specific books that have like really helped you along your path as well?
Yeah, so Sylvia Brown is also somebody who, I did not know Sylvia personally, but after my brother passed, I started reading a lot about the afterlife and horoscopes and tarot, and, was really starting to get into all things spiritual. And I was introduced by a friend to Sylvia Brown and all of her books. So I don't know if you guys have read any of her books, but her
Oh
writing
yeah.
style, she had like a ghostwriter that wrote with her, and her books are just very conversational. And Christopher, have you read any of her books?
I have one that I've read a little bit of, but not the whole thing. I think it's funny though that people often confuse me for her son because his name is also
Oh,
Christopher, and he is also a medium. So it's it's kind of hilarious sometimes. They're like, "Are you Sylvia's son?" I'm like, "No, unfortunately, no." You know,
yeah. Yeah. Chris, you're a medium too?
I am.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I've never known so many I like love it because oh, there was not a lot of us, and like we're all coming out of the woodwork and finding each other. I love it because it's like nobody understands you like another medium.
It's so
Right?
true. We can have conversations that no one else can have because they'll just look at us like we got 10 heads. You know.
Exactly. Exactly. And we don't even have to say a lot of words either. I think a lot of our communications telepathic too. So we only have to say a few words that like somebody else would have to give a million. So
Right.
yeah, so it's pretty cool. It's a special thing. Um, but yeah, Sylvia Brown, I love her books. Her writing style was always very conversational, easy to read. I could read a book in a day. She
Nice.
writes, write her the ghostwriter she wrote with, um, she always um, refers to her spirit guide Francine, and so I learned a lot of basics about spirituality. About there's a book, Past Lives, Future Healing, by her that I love. Um, Life on the Other Side um, is another good one that I love. Um, all of her books. I've got all of them, and I actually refer to them in my classes. So I rolled out a new program this year called Soul Searchers. My spirit guides um, downloaded it to me and gave me the idea that I needed to start some kind of a community and incorporate learning in it. And so I started doing that. And um, sorry, I'm getting really interrupted right now with my lungs. Do either one of you have something going on with your lungs right now?
That might be Raven.
Are you
I have
having a lot of congestion right now?
I have congestive heart failure, and my I do use the sleep machine to help me with breathing and stuff. My heart was racing a little bit earlier, but I'm okay.
Okay, because I'm picking up on it. There you go. Okay, I feel
Hmm.
better now. Do you use an inhaler?
I do sometimes, but for the most part, like when I'm sleeping, I have a machine that I use that like basically pushes air through my body to
Good.
help me when I need it, and it's controlled, so like it'll adjust to what I need. With the weight loss that I've had as well, like the weather has really been affecting me. Like
Yeah.
I get really cold all of a sudden, or then really warm, and it's like my body's doing all these weird things with the
It's
weight
learning how to
loss.
regulate. Yeah. Learning how to regulate everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations on that. I know it's hard work. I'm down 85 pounds myself in the last 3 years.
Congratulations.
It's
That's
not an easy
amazing.
thing, but I know that, having the health concerns on top of it, makes it probably that much more difficult. But what I'm being told is you are with the right doctors. You got into the hospital, a close call is what they're saying. You were a close call. It could have gone a totally different way. You know this. I'm not telling you anything new. I hope it's okay that I'm reading.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, sorry.
You know that you can. You're family to
Okay,
me.
okay. um, but yeah, you're with the right people. And then is there a doctor change or like a new person added onto your treatment team? They're showing me a gentleman, a man, older.
So I am in the process of trying to get one of the people that I'm working with changed over because I'm not really in a place where I trust this individual and I feel somebody else would be more appropriate. So I'm working on
Chills.
that.
Chills. I have chills from head to toe, which is confirmation that what you're saying is needs to happen. So, um, yeah, that's my sign, like for truth is chills. So you'll hear me say chills, and people that don't know me are like, "What is wrong with that woman? Why does she keep saying chills?"
She must be really
um,
cold.
yeah. Um, I keep having congestion in my chest. Have you had any colds lately, or exposed to any viruses going around?
So it was weird. Both Matthew and I experienced allergy
Okay.
stuff going on for a
Okay.
few days and then it went away.
That's probably what this is. Okay. This is making sense. Okay. All right. Yeah. They're saying I'm getting these symptoms so I can tell you that it's nothing to worry about. That's why. That's why they showed it to me. Because I'm like, why would you give me those symptoms? What is the reason? And that's what they
Mhm.
said. So that you know that it is allergies. It has nothing to do with anything else. Lungs feel good. Your CO2 levels, they're really happy with. So your CO2, as a nurse, I know I have some medical mediumship too that comes through. Of course, I never give medical advice. I always have to give that disclaimer, right? But they're showing me your CO2 levels and like your blood gases. They look really good. They were not good for a long time because you didn't know that there was an issue. But now that you're doing the CPAP machine at night and you're rebalancing and your acid base balance and your pH level, all look really good. They're really happy with that. Do they
That's
have you go to
comforting.
anybody for respiratory or is it just cardiologist?
I have a cardiologist that I see. I haven't gone to anybody for respiratory.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, so it feels good. It was all good stuff. They wanted to use this opportunity to say it. So
That's comforting. I
yeah.
would say even my gifts, my abilities have shifted and changed because of that experience. It's like a deepening a little bit more
Do you
with what I
consider
went
it an
through.
NDE? Was it an NDE?
Oh, it was. I was out for like Matthew had to call people because I haven't really told anybody this, but like I was shaking. I couldn't hold my water bottle, at least not live. I haven't told anybody, but I literally blacked out and then came back up and I had to call out to Matthew because he was across the hall and be like, I think we need to call the ambulance. And while I was in the ambulance, I was gone for a few seconds, but I had an encounter with Anubis during that time.
Can you tell us about that? I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
don't know what Anubis is. I don't know what that is.
So it's kind of interesting because when I was younger, I never really I had certain deities I liked Aries, I liked Aphrodite, from some of the traditional belief systems. And I had a strong draw to Egyptian traditions, but I never really specifically practiced anything on a consistent basis. I ended up, go looking at it from more of a universal connection to get what I was receiving from a higher source, from that higher being. Well, when I blacked out, I was in a dark room. It was pitch black. And I saw myself standing in there and I was like, what am I doing in here? And I remember turning over to the left side of me and seeing Anubis, which is an Egyptian deity that was standing there. And actually, well, unfortunately, it's really hard to see, but I have a picture of Anubis up here behind me. But um he was holding my heart, and it was the organ, and he was looking down on it. He was very focused on it, and it was had some glowing aspects above the top of it. And he told me, he's like, it's not your time, go back. And I remember flashing back into my body, and the person in the ambulance saying that they had thought they had lost me. And I, went into the hospital. I found out I had AFib and then congestive heart failure. And it was honestly, I think it was my guides like telling the doctor to check on me again, because I had originally, the first time I had ever gone to the hospital, um, I had originally gone in because I was dealing with back pain, but this was the second time I went in. And it was interesting because the doctor looked at me. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, no, there's something wrong with my legs. And then he like had me like looked at my vein and saw that it was too far extended. He's like, we're going to go ahead and run tests. And so they ran tests, and that's when they found out that I had it. But that was the first time. But then the second time when I went, and they had put me on a prescription medication, and unfortunately, that medication stripped me of all of my potassium, pretty much all of my potassium levels.
Oh, wow.
So
Yikes.
that's why I went out, and I was in the hospital for quite some time. The first time it was like 3.5 weeks. The second time it was during Thanksgiving week. And I don't know, like that's when I saw David come into the room, and I'm like, I had a chair there because Matthew had come to visit me, other friends had come to visit me, and David sat down. He's like, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this, because I was really scared.
I know you were. Yeah, I know you were. I know you were. And I remember talking with you, and you had the best spirits. Like, you were really positive about it. And I felt like, you were going to be fine. Like, I felt really good about it. But
Hmm.
I could tell, like, um, it was good that we could talk too, because, my boyfriend also has heart failure, and he's only 59. He'll be 60 in December. Um, like 3 weeks after we started dating, he wasn't feeling good. It had the flu, and I kept telling him, "I'm worried about your heart. I'm worried about your heart." And finally, one day, he had finished his round of antibiotics and steroids, and he was feeling terrible. And I'm like, "You need to go to the emergency room." We'd only been dating like 3 weeks at that point, and I'm like, I'm going to sound like a real know-it-all and a real bitch right now, but you need to get your ass to the emergency room now and do it for your kids. And thank God he went, and he's like, what hospital should I go to? And I told him the hospital to go to, because of all the hospitals in the area, I knew it was the best one for heart, because I used to work there. And
Hmm.
yeah, he got admitted to the intensive care unit within like an hour of being there, because he was in and out of VTAC. And VTAC is the abnormal heart rhythm, where your heart's basically just, your ventricles just quivering. It's not even beating. And he didn't lose consciousness, which was good, but he was having like these runs, and the nurses were like freaking out. They put him on the monitor, and he's setting them off within like seconds of being there. And yeah, so it's a scary diagnosis, because basically they're saying, your heart's not pumping like it's supposed to. It's supposed to be 55 to 65%. His was only 10% then.
Hmm.
And I know, as a cardiac nurse, I know those numbers. Nobody else, like, if I told somebody who doesn't have that knowledge, they'd be like, what does that mean? It's not good. Okay, it's not good. But like you, like my boyfriend, like, if you're compliant with your medications have come so far. And the way that I keep seeing it, you know, by 2030, 2032, like most disease processes are going to be cured because we're going to be able to identify the genes that express certain disease processes, and we're going to be able to turn those genes off. That's how I'm seeing it energetically. Um, that's like the short version of it. But, you know, like diabetes is going to be cured. We're going to be able to grow organs. We're going to be able to cure cancers, prevent cancers from ever starting. We're going to be able to prevent heart disease. And then I also read something the other day, which was super exciting, that, you know, they're starting to try some stem cells with heart failure patients. So like you and my boyfriend would be really good candidates to try, trial it. So they basically take your stem cells out of your blood, they extract them, and they spin it, and then they put it back in and they infuse them back in. I don't quite understand if it's delivered like injections into the muscle of the heart. I don't know all of the specific dynamics, but the gist of it is that these new stem cells can help create new pathways and create new muscle within the heart and restore parts of the heart that are, you know, not functioning anymore. So they're doing research on it and they're getting really good results. Now, I knew about them doing it within coronary arteries, but I didn't know about them doing it in the heart muscle. And that's super promising. So like, there's no better time to get heart failure, I guess is what I'm trying to say, than now. If that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
you have good, as long as you're a compliant patient, you're on the road to recovery. So,
Is
and
this
if you're doing all
something
you're
I
supposed
should
to.
is this something I should ask my doctor about? Like, is it something that they're actually like doing for people already, or is it still in
Yeah,
testing phases?
it's still in testing phases, but it sounds like they're like about to. So, like, I know I already told my boyfriend, I'm like, your next appointment, we're talking to Dr. H about this. I'm like, we got to find out all we can about it. And my boyfriend's like, oh, it's probably so expensive and only probably rich people are going to be able to do it. And I said, no, the future I see is that the healthcare system's going to become effective. And I was just talking about this, you know, with some friends, you know, the whole concept of the new earth being here and the vibration of the planet elevating. One of the things that's coming with that is a lot of, you know, wars right now, governments falling apart, a lot of systems that are broken are going to need to fall apart, and that's what the next few years is about, is dismantling of those things, dismantling of the government, not just in the United States but across the world, dismantling of our healthcare system, dismantling of our education system, you know, doing things that actually benefit people, not just a small group of people that benefit from things, but everybody benefiting from it. So I told him, I said, no, I said, you're going to be able to get that stem cell transplant and we're going to get that heart working better. So lots of good stuff coming up. So again, we can go into a whole other topic about, I'm a big believer on our words create a reality, you know?
Oh yeah.
So,
Yep. I definitely agree with you on that one.
yep. Yep. Our
Mhm.
thoughts and our words create a reality. So, you know, that's where we're at.
Heidi, I'm curious about something. Um, you know, a lot of us mediums, we deal with people that come to us and they want, you know, guidance about the future, right? Um, with the existence of free will, how do you explain future predictions and things like that?
So I do explain that with to my clients, you know, that when they come to me, that I'm reading the energy at this moment in time, if
Hmm.
time is even real, which we know time isn't real, but if you have to use a word, it would be time.
Sure.
So when I read for them, it's based on the energy right now, but everything's about free will and free will choices, and one choice can change the whole trajectory of certain things. So it's all about choices. God gives us free will. There's very few things that are predestined and very few things that are, you know, for sure. And that's basically birth, death, and taxes. Other than that,
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
you've got your soul contracts. You know, you've got the people that you're for sure going to meet no matter what. You've got soul contracts with them, right?
Hmm.
But then how that relationship ends up, or you know, ends or starts or restarts or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
Yep.
all about free will, and it takes
Hmm.
two people or more than one person to make those things happen. So
Do you
that's how
think
I
there's
feel.
ever a situation? Do you think there's ever a situation where maybe um, certain things in your life need to happen and will happen regardless of how you navigate through?
Yes, I do. I do think there are some things that, no matter what, if you take one road, it's still going to lead you to the final destination. So I do see some things like energetically, like as there's like three different ways to get there. Like you're going to get there. It's just which way are you going to get there?
I see
And
what you
are
mean.
you
Yeah.
going to speed it up? And what I've found too is, and I don't know if it has to do with me understanding manifestation now and really like the trying to live the truth of like um speaking things into reality, like my thoughts and my words create my reality, like truly
Sure.
living that. um I think that um I'm sorry, my dog is like barking and it totally distracted me. What were we saying? What was I talking about?
We were talking about the future and predictions and free will, and if there are certain things that are actually going to happen
Yes.
regardless of yeah. So you were talking about three different paths to the same location.
Right. It's you're still going to get there. It's just speeding up. So what I found too with the manifesting is that some things I'm able to manifest really quickly now. So
Okay. Yeah.
something that might have taken me 2 years is now taking me like, I don't know, a couple months, because I'm almost like speeding because time's not becoming real. So I'm finding the more that I know how to manifest and how I learn how to create that some things happen like instantly. And
Hmm.
some things I've been told, like I was told by a couple different psychics, like you're going to be with your husband another 5 years. And it was like, no, I mean, it was like 5 months and we were
Wow.
done.
Yeah.
So it was like, I kind of like got a peek of the future, and it was like, damn it, why do I want to waste another 5 years in this miserable relationship if the ultimate end up is that we're going to not be together? So
I see.
I'm going to push the envelope on these topics that I've kind of been, not really pushing the envelope on because I want things to like not get messy. But I need to find out. And I started asking certain questions, and the truth came out of like what he really wanted. Um,
Hmm.
Basically, to sum things up, we were married for 25 years. He stepped outside the marriage and had an affair. I forgave him. We went through it, and ultimately, he wanted, a different like setup in our marriage, and I was not open to that. And so I said, "We're done. Like for me, this is a no. I'm glad you told me honestly what you wanted, but that's not my bag, and
Hmm.
I wish you the best, but I don't want to go down that route. I don't want to have an insecure marriage. I want a secure marriage, and we
Hmm.
just want different things. And it's not like he's bad. It's just we just didn't align anymore. So I kind of cut 5 years out,
Okay.
and you know what I mean. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the more that you know the frequency increases on the planet and time becomes not real anymore, and we don't have time constricting us, I think things are going to happen more faster. And that's why they
Hmm.
say like the earth's even, it's proven scientifically that the earth's spinning even faster.
Hmm.
So time's moving at a quantum pace is what they say. So
No kidding. That's kind of cool. I did not know that.
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
look it
because the
up.
axis shifted? Is that a part of it?
That's part of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, the earth is going, not only are we waking up as a humanity and the frequency of the planet's elevating and our DNA is changing because of it, not just because of the frequency of the planet going up, but the sun has a lot to do with it. And that AI atlas, that went through, it went into the sun and sent some stuff in, and it kind of changed things for us and helped unblock. This is how I understand it, that, the dark forces were blocking the sun coming in. And now with this change that the AI atlas had and sent into the sun, now when we go out and we are exposed to the sun, and it's the sun and water that we drink, which obviously is affected from the sun into the water, right?
Hmm.
And eating fruits and vegetables from the earth also is a way to ingest these upgrades in our DNA. So our DNA is not being just upgraded on a spiritual level, it's also being upgraded on a cellular level.
Yep.
So that's how I understand it. And so while that's happening, you know, we're becoming less dense. We're kind of, our bodies are crystallizing. And, you know, we're able to access the fourth dimension and soon the fifth dimension and go between 3 and 5D, you know, state of consciousness. And there's going to be a point in time we're going to get, we got to pick which way we want to go. Which path do you want to go?
Yeah.
And that's how I understand it. You know, I don't know if you guys follow much about the New Earth, but I get a lot of information from my guides about that. And that's why I started that
cool.
the Soul Searchers program, where I teach about spirituality and just help people that really don't have much knowledge about it. Because I have so many clients that I read for that are like, oh, this is so cool. This is so interesting. And my guides kept showing me, you need to start teaching and, you know, sharing your knowledge with other people. So I started doing that this year. That's been really cool. So
that is really cool. I'm glad you're doing that. That's super cool.
Yeah, once a month we just meet on Zoom, and then there's some soul coaching that goes along with it, and we meet either twice or 4 times over the year. You don't have to sign up for all the classes. You can take one class, you know, if one looks interesting. You don't have to sign up for all of them, but you get a discount if you do. So that information, my website's actually being updated right now. It'll be ready by the end of the month. And I'm going to have a page on my website just about the Soul Searchers program. So if you guys are interested, or if anybody watching the podcast is interested, you can check that out at my website at HeidiKemper.com. So
yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
I've got people from all across the country taking it, so it's really fun.
Killer,
and all different levels, like people like us, other mediums, all the way to people like my mom, who is born and raised Catholic and comes to all the classes and is like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like has no idea about any of it, you know? So really cool.
Where are some of the like what are some of the events and things that you have going on where people can come and meet you at some of the conferences, or how are ways they can contact you alongside the website?
I am not traveling as much this year. I traveled a ton the last 3 years. This year is going to be kind of like my find a new house, grow my business year. So I'm not traveling as much. I do have an event at Belle Grove Plantation in Virginia next month with Sam Beltrusis. We're going to be doing it's a mediumship event where we teach new mediums. There's going to be some other mediums there. Kim Sage, it's an event with her and Sam, and we're going to be doing different mediumship topics. I'm going to be teaching about soul retrieval. And then I've got the Mass Paracon with Sam Beltrusis in October. I'm sponsoring part of that in memory of David. So I've got that, and then I've got Wilson Castle event. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to go. Sam's doing an event in October on like the day before Halloween. And if you can ever get to Wilson Castle in October, they decorate it beautiful with like pumpkins everywhere and a headless horseman outside. And the house is awesome at Halloween. The castle is awesome at Halloween. So probably that. And then I might do Gettysburg Bash. I talked to Pam Berry the other day, and I'm seriously considering it, but it's like right in the middle of July. And so I'm trying to see if I can swing it. But yeah, not as much this year. So it's okay. I'm good with it. I just really need to kind of make a home base right now. I'm really trying to grow my business and, you know, focus on that. So not as much travel.
That's wonderful, though, that you're, creating that home base and having the classes online, and people from all over the world can connect with you. And
yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's one of the good things that came out of COVID was us getting really used to talking to each other on Zoom and just being able to conduct business, but also read for people anywhere and get together with other like-minded people and just be together and chat and, hang out. So I love the technology for that and the advancement with Zoom and things like that. So
Mhm. Yeah, it seems to have brought people together in a way that we never thought we would ever do,
right, right, for sure, for sure.
which is really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Well, I can't believe an hour has already gone by.
I
me
know
neither.
it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun.
This has been
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. Gwen, do you want to pop on it?
Hey guys, great show. Heidi's
Hey,
always great. I met her last year. Do you remember Heidi
I sure
at the
do. You
Paranormal
and
Lockdown?
Rez drove us places and took care of us. Yes, I do
Yeah.
remember you, Gwen. Yes.
Hopefully, I'll get
that's
to see you some
awesome.
more this year. We're going to some of the same events, so that'll be cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be great. And you guys, I'm
I
a
love the
little
two of
bit.
them.
I'm a little bit under the weather, so I'm not popping my picture up because I'm a little not myself right now.
No worries, Gwen. No worries.
Hey, the guys know me, Raven and Chris know I love them, and I'll do anything for them. But today I'm just a little bit. I got to have surgery soon, and I'm struggling just a little bit. So I'm getting there.
What
Though.
do you,
I got
what do you
I got
guys
so
get
many.
surgery for? Anything? Are you okay? I'm sending you my best.
Well, my surgery is on my shoulder, and I was trying to avoid it, but insurance is just throwing a little wrench in there, so I've got to get it done soon. Next week, next Wednesday, matter of fact. Did y'all hear that?
Mm-hmm.
What was? I don't know what that was, you guys.
Oh, what
Like
was
some-
that? I heard that. It was like a crackle or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like something hit the microphone or something.
Is it bone or is it tendon, ligament? What's going on?
My rotator cuff. Long story short, years ago I was a paramedic. Messed up my left shoulder rotator cuff. Had to have 2 surgeries. Never got over it. Now because I compensated for so long, I've messed up my right shoulder somehow, and I've got 2 tears. More. Well, I actually think I have more than 2 tears. He said once he gets in there, he's afraid he's going to see a lot more because I can't. Certain things I could do, I can't do anymore. Like if I'm sitting, if I try to lift my elbow up and hold something with my hand, I can't do that either. So it's really getting worse quickly. But it's going to be okay. I got so many people sending me good energy and prayers, however they do it. It's going to be all right. It's just going to be it's going to be a little pain in the butt for a minute. So
yeah, well, they've come a long way with that surgery. I know of a friend that had to have rotator cuff surgery, and they have like a continuous pain pump that goes through, and it's not as painful as it used to be based on that. So I know they've made a lot of advancements. So I feel like you're going to be glad you did it. You're going to be glad you did it. The lights just changed again. I can't get over this.
And I'm getting
the
pops
sign
and
like to
crackles.
say yes. They're going yes. It's like a spirit box or the lights, the cat lights.
Oh yeah.
But you guys, it's been great. I'm gonna Heidi, I'm gonna pull you back if you'll hold on for a second so everybody can chat with you off screen for just a minute. Let me let the guys just close it out for us.
Okay, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. It's been an honor to meet you.
All right, you too. Hope to meet you soon in person
Absolutely.
one day. And Raven, I'll see you soon. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
I adore her. She's one of my favorite, I have favorite people, and she's one of them.
I can see why. She has such great energy. She's like super smart. She's really awesome. I can't wait to actually meet her in person because it's like, sometimes we have these guests and sometimes I know them, sometimes I don't. But, down the line, I'm sure we'll cross paths and it'll be great.
Yeah, definitely. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining in. And thank you so much to all of our guests for your questions and your comments. And we appreciate you. Next week, we have Aja on our show. That's going to be pretty fun. So make sure to join us at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And y'all have a good night.
Peace out, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye.